You don't want to go head on with an F350 and a Tesla on two lane out in Wyoming. I got it. If you're in LA, I got it.
Hi, welcome to the Red to Black podcast. Here, you will learn how to invest in highly profitable private businesses to create abundant financial freedom. If this topic interests you, we invite you to subscribe to our channel. This podcast is hosted by Werner Minchel, ex-Marine aviator and current real estate investor, and Mario Parzino, current Marine infantry officer and business investor.
Now we're rolling into the businesses that we love, which is these 30% operating margin businesses. And do you want to talk a little bit about
Yeah, so I want to give a public
alcohol business?
Yeah, I want to give a public safety message first. So these 30% operating margin businesses are like they're like Mack trucks, or this is why I drive. I mean, I drive a SUV. I drive a Toyota 4Runner, but there's cars that weigh 10,000 pounds out on the highway. There's cars that weigh 30,000 pounds. I mean, to drive a Tesla out in Wyoming is like ridiculous. You don't want to go head on with an F350 and a Tesla on two lane out in Wyoming. I got it. If you're in LA, I got it. To drive your Tesla in LA, but don't drive that out to LA. Get yourself a pickup truck,
like a super ranch or whatever. I just saw
they're insane.
King Ranch. Oh my god, dually. I saw a dually King
Thing's
Ranch.
30 feet long. The thing's 30 feet long, right? So a public safety message is drive a car that's going to do well in an accident and wear your seatbelt. And then in businesses, it's like that's the same thing. Is like going into these businesses that have like really high operating margins, or they have the ability to grow to very high operating margin business. It's driving that F350 in Wyoming. Like, okay, I hit a road bump. I hit like a deer. You're like, I don't know. I hit a deer. Should we stop? No, it's all right. Oh, I hit a Tesla. Don't hit anything. Try not to hit anything, but if you run into road bumps in life and you're driving an F350, it's like, did we hit something, Warner? I don't even know if we hit a deer.
I know.
But you're driving a Tesla, man. Your Tesla's totaled. Dude, you hit a deer out and you're zipping around Wyoming and you hit a deer with a Tesla. Man, that thing's going through the windshield. I mean, you're calling the highway patrol. Like it's bad. We're those, anyway, 30% operating margin is the only thing I would say about Oracle that kind of upsets me. And they're fixing this, but they're kind of a one-trick pony. They've never figured out. And I think they just bought TikTok, so they're expanding but it's not. TikTok doesn't have the same mystique.
I think they got a portion of TikTok. That was
it was weird. They just wanted to get that data. they didn't really want the business. Yeah. They wanted the data on their servers. They wanted data in their computers.
Probably.
Yeah. So, but Oracle, the only complaint I have about Oracle, and this is coming from a guy that has $0 invested in Oracle. The only complaint I have, I love the company. The only complaint I have is they're a one-trick pony. I wish they would do another Oracle and another one and another one. But you know what? They win. They win in that. What they give the customers, it's beautiful. There is businesses that are 30% operating margin businesses, and they just keep they're very rare. They're very rare, but let's consider them like multi-horse or multi-quarter horse winners. They've got multiple quarter horses that are winning, and they're winning in these spaces that are 30, 35, 40. I mean, there's some businesses that I'm just like, man, this is incredible.
So yeah. Let's hone in on your example of your metaphor of the Tesla to the King Ranch. I'm adding that in there. The King Ranch F350. I mean, I saw one today, dually, 2 wheels on the back or 4 wheels total. I mean, the thing was just impressive. It was huge.
Well, you're riding out that Warner. You're riding out some storms in life. If you're driving that, if that's your business, metaphorically speaking, if that's your business, the King Ranch F350 dual cab. I mean, if that's your business, and you hit a little roadblock in life, it's just a little bump, man. It's just like, all right, I don't want to hit anything, but like, all right, we're going to be fine. Like we're not going to the hospital tonight. But if you're driving this business that's like, it's operating off these paper thin margins, and it's like, I think the technology works, and I think the batteries are going to work, and I think we're good. And you hit a little roadblock, you hit a little storm in life. that business is going to get crushed. It's literally going to get crushed. And I'm just using that. I'm telling my nephews, man, the safest thing you can drive out west is a big old pickup truck. And in business, the safest thing you can get into are these really high margin businesses with beautiful brands. Those are my thoughts, Warner.
Yeah, because people, I've seen this in real estate. I mean, when we purchased our real estate's got, I mean, because it's real estate's unfair, to be honest with you. It's really unfair because they'll give you, LTV, loan to value, 75, 80%. So your dollars are, if you look at that, if they're giving me 75 to 80%, that's 4 or 5x in your
That's right.
return on your dollars versus a normal investment in Oracle. You can't beat it, right? So, but the key thing in real estate that applies to any other investment is buying it at the right
Bingo.
price. Because if you overpay for it with your debt payment will eat you alive. Say your debt payment is, let's say your debt payment's $6,000 a month, right? And your rents are pulling in $7,000 a month. Ooh, man. Yeah, I mean, you're like, let's say you're, I don't know, you're like a fourplex and each rent is whatever it comes to, 7,000, but you lose one of those units.
Ouch. Ouch.
I mean, you're below that. Let's make the numbers easier. You're at 8,000, 4 units. You lose one unit, right? Now you're down 6,000, 6,000. You made no money. You lose 2 units, you're 2,000 negative on that, off that monthly mortgage payment. So it's not just because you have a 40% operating margin business or 30% operating margin business doesn't mean you're going to be successful. As we talked about before, it's all about the price. You said you could have a great quality business, but if you buy at the wrong price, it can be a horrible business. So we'll talk about that more in another podcast. And guys like Howard Marks really drive into that. He really dives into how do you evaluate a business? And it's really based on the underlying fundamentals. So you have a 40% operating margin business, you have a huge margin of safety, but that margin of safety is determined by how much you bought that business for. So there's really 2 things. How much did you buy it for, and what's the operating margin of the business?
That's right.
And that's what we're going to go into in depth as we buy our own businesses, private businesses, and look at, on this podcast, all sorts of different businesses, from laundromats. I got a guy out here I met who runs I think it's called the Grease Barrel, and he does oil changes, and he's got a gas station. I mean, those are just 2 cash cows, just ting, 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 just spinning off cash because he runs them the right way. So,
And I want to meet this character Dallas.
yeah,
I
and
can't wait to meet this dude Dallas. I gotta pick his brain.
oh yeah, Dallas and the other guy, I forget his name. Dallas is a character, but this other guy that runs the Grease Barrel, he's got Porsches. You can tell he's got so much cash falling out of his pockets, figuratively speaking. He's got cars everywhere. I mean, I went to the back of the Grease Barrel, and he's like, yeah, all these are my cars, like 10
Oh,
cars back
jeez.
there. Oh
Oh,
yeah, I just
jeez.
bought this Porsche. I got it on the auction for half price. It was a great deal. I couldn't turn it down. I'm like, that's
Yeah.
the type of,
Yeah.
that's what Mario and I are creating for our podcast listeners. We want you to be so financially successful that you have
That's right.
opportunities, and you're not working from 6 in the. If you are working from 6 in the morning till 6 in the night, you're working on, let's say, 6 over a 12-hour period. You're working on 6 different businesses, 2 hours here, 2 hours there. I get it. If you want to work on 6 different 40% operating margin businesses, not one 5% operating margin business that
That's
takes
right.
12 hours. I think that's a
That's
good way
right.
to look at it.
All right, Warner. I think we're gonna land the plane here.
Thank you for listening to the Red to Black podcast. We really appreciate you taking time out of your day to listen to our podcast. If you would like to connect with us in the future, you can find us on LinkedIn. Simply search for Werner Minchell or Mario Parzino. Also, you can find a link to our LinkedIn profiles in the profile section of the podcast. Thank you again for listening, and we look forward to connecting with you in the future.